we're back, and I watched Mission Impossible Fallout, Mission Impossible 6. Now, this was the first one that I felt like, because Mission Impossible 5, I think, did continue off the end of 4, because I think they mentioned the Syndicate at the very end. But this one feels like they said, man, let's create this storyline still off of the fallout of everything that happened with the Rogue Nation and the Syndicate and everyone who was involved with that or followers of that. We bring back Ilsa Faust. We thought that she got out of the game, but she's back in. A new head of CIA played by Angela Bassett has right-hand man in, I don't remember his name, but Henry Cavill plays him. He said when he get ready to fight, which I'm not gonna lie, I remember seeing the trend online where people was talking about when he did like this, like he was doing Gatling guns with his arms before he fought. He got his ass whooped in the scene that he did that in. Neither here nor there. But yet again, we got CIA thinking like Ethan IMF is Kaputzi, they on some crazy shit. And then Solomon Lane has these followers who are now, Solomon Lane was the villain, the head of the Syndicate. And now he has these followers called the Apostles who are still carrying out some bullshit in his name. And then there's like this manifesto and whatnot written by an anonymous person. And, you know, we're trying to figure out the Apostles. They have stole some plutonium. And a running theme of this one that I really love is how, because in the very beginning, they lose the plutonium because Ethan tries to save Luther, which is a theme even still from the last one where with Benji, he did what it took to get Benji back, even if it meant like getting the money that the Syndicate wanted to carry out their plans and figuring out some way to save that one life. And they're consistently talking about how Ethan will choose the one life, not necessarily at the cost of the many, but he will try to save both. And I loved that theme. Again, this was one of the like deeper Mission Impossible movies, I felt like, with that, because he saves Luther, and it feels like everything that's transpiring is because of that. The Apostles having plutonium, wanting to set off these nuclear bombs and everything. He assumes his identity, John Lark. John Lark is this name that's floating around consistently, and eventually people believe that Ethan really is John Lark, this evil persona that he is using in order to also carry out devious plans. And Henry Cavill's character is like feeding that narrative. Honestly, they kind of revealed a little too soon that he was bad news, because they get a phone off of John Lark that they capture at one point, and then it's broken. And then he goes to give the phone to his boss, the CIA lady, Angela Bassett, and he's like, here's the phone we got off of John Lark. It'll tell you everything about how Ethan's really behind all this. And it's a perfectly clean phone. You played your hand too early, sir. You played your hand too early. We were on to you. This one was great with the action. He had to be double undercover. Vanessa Kirby, this is the first time I think I've really seen Vanessa Kirby performing anything, and we're going to be seeing her in Fantastic Four later this summer. So that was cool, watching her character. Man, what else happened with this one? Solomon Lane is raggedy, rugged. He got a beard. They are not making sure he has a fresh cut and a trim up in whatever prison that they got him in. And it's crazy because they use the mask off trick in a creative way to, apparently they were on to Henry Cavill. And they say, all right, we're taking Solomon Lane, or you watch Solomon, and then we're taking Benji dressed up as him to this handoff to get the plutonium back. And turns out Benji was the one there because they figured something was up with him. Sadly, though, CIA lady finds out her man is caught. Finds out that, like, hey, the CIA has been infiltrated by the Apostles. And she still was like, the CIA is bringing all you sons of bitches in. Meanwhile, she get off the phone. Henry Cavill's like, now. And half of the CIA turns and starts shooting their own men. It's like, if your right-hand guy was with the Apostles, did you not think that he had people within your ranks? And because of that, Hundley got killed. Alec Baldwin, he had just made it onto the A team, And I wasn't really rocking with it, man. I was a little bit sad. Hawkeye ain't in this one either. I know I'm 5 minutes into this, and I forgot to say that. Again, we just had people drop off the main team, and we're just like, whatever. Another way this one comes full circle, consistently they're showing Julia through it from Mission Impossible 3, Ethan's wife. Again, and now we finally know why Ethan got back in the game. It was because when bad things happen, Ethan was always wondering if he could have stopped it, and she was always wondering, was he not there to stop it because he's worried about protecting her? So we got an answer from Luther on why they didn't work out. And then we end up seeing her in the end. She's ending up helping the team disarm the plutonium bombs, take down Solomon Lane. That man Ethan crashed a helicopter into Henry Cavill, and I'm just like, Tom Cruise, at this point, I don't know what parts of the stunts be fully real or not. I saw a thing where when he jumped from one building to another and he starts limping, it's because he for real broke his ankle, like for real. More power to him. I'm really locked in. As y'all can see, I've been talking longer and longer about these because they are way more in depth than they were before. I am going to be watching Dead Reckoning hopefully tonight. I believe it was called Dead Reckoning Part 1, but then they decided to not call the next one Dead Reckoning Part 2, and they called it Final Reckoning. So I don't think it's just Dead Reckoning. Neither here nor there. We're going to be watching Mission Impossible 7. I would love to do like an in-depth talk about like my thoughts on like the entire series. So if you made it this far, y'all let me know if that's something I should do. We're going to get on Mission Impossible 7 here later tonight.